Hello, welcome to Cafdil Lessons.
Hello learners, it's time for Cafdil lessons again, and we have English language for primary 3. I am your facilitator, Patricia Mpamensa. In this lesson, we will be looking at the present tense. But before we do that, let's look at the objective for the lesson. So, by the end of the lesson, you will be able to use he, she, and it to form sentences. At the end of this lesson, you are all expected to be able to use he, she, and it to form your own sentences. Before we look at it, let's go to our homework and solve them. So you were tasked to underline the verbs in the following sentences. Susan enjoys fufu and palm nut soup. Susan enjoys fufu and palm nut soup. You are supposed to underline the verb in this sentence. Did you get that correct? Yes. Enjoys is the verb in Susan enjoys fufu and palm nut soup. The second question. Sarah runs for her school during the school athletic competition. Did you underline runs? Good job. Fusena washes her dirty clothes on Saturdays. Fusena washes her dirty clothes on Saturdays. Which one did you underline? Okay, let's see. Albert learns very hard to pass his exams. Which one is the verb? Learns. Good job. The dog eats raw meat. The dog eats raw meat. Which one did you underline? Eats. Watermelon grows well in June. Watermelon grows well in June. Did you underline grows? Good. Mary collects the rubbish from the floor. Mary collects the rubbish from the floor. Which one did you underline as your verb? Collect. Our teacher writes on the blackboard with chalk. Our teacher writes on the blackboard with chalk. Are you ready to mark? Let's see. Right is the correct word. The boy smiles beautifully. The boy smiles beautifully. Which one did you underline? Smiles. Finally, John teaches his friends after school. John teaches his friends after school. Are you ready to mark? Yes, the verb is teaches. Good. I hope you all did very well. You had 10 over 10, 9 over 10, 8 over 10, 7 over 10. Good. If you did not get everything correct, don't worry. You can still do better. So look at the answers and do your corrections. Good. So let's move to the lesson for the day. In this lesson, we are using he, she, and it to describe what someone or something does. We are using he, she, and it to describe what someone or something does. And as usual, we are going to use a picture to form our sentences. So here, we see someone here named Susan. We can't see Susan's face, but we can see Susan's body. And you can see that it's a female. We are going to replace Susan with she. So our sentence, Susan enjoys fufu and palm nut soup. Susan enjoys fufu and palm nut soup. This time, we don't want to use Susan. So we are using she. So our sentence would read, she enjoys fufu and palm nut soup. She enjoys fufu and palm nut soup. We use she because Susan is a woman. Susan is a woman. And that is why we use she. Susan is a female as well. Susan is a female as well. Susan is a woman. Therefore, we used she. What is happening here? What is this man doing? Yes, he is listening to music. This man is called Ato. So our sentence reads, Ato listens to good music. You can see him smiling. He's so happy because he's enjoying the music. It's very good music and he's really enjoying it. So we have a sentence as, Ato listens to good music. Ato listens to good music. Now we don't want to use Ato. So we are going to replace Ato with he. We are replacing Ato with he because Ato is a man. Ato is a boy. Ato is a male. So we are using he in place of Ato. Therefore, our sentence would read, Ato listens to good music. 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 Ato is a man. Ato is a man. We don't want to mention Ato's name. So we are going to replace Ato with he. Because Ato is a man and we don't want to mention Ato, we will put he in the place of Ato. Ato listens to good music. Ato is a man. Therefore, we are going to replace ato with he. We are going to replace ato with he. Therefore, our sentence would read, he listens to good music. He listens to good music. And that is why he is smiling. He is so happy. The dog eats raw meat. Is that what we see in the picture? This is meat. It is not cooked. It is raw. And you can see the dog enjoying it, eating it. The dog eats raw meat. The dog eats raw meat. We don't want to use the dog. Therefore, we are going to replace the dog with it. We are replacing the dog with it. Therefore, our sentence would read, it eats raw meat. It eats raw meat. So this it is in place of the dog. The it is in place of the dog. We can see a plant here, and we can see a hand watering the plants. You can see the water dripping. Therefore, we can have our sentence as, a plant grows well when we water it. A plant grows well when we water it. We don't want to say a plant. Therefore, we are replacing a plant with it. We are replacing a plant with it. So, our sentence would be, it grows well when we water it. It grows well when we water it. This is Mr. David. And what is Mr. David doing in the picture? He is watching his telly. So we're going to form a sentence to describe this picture. Mr. David watches television in the evening. Mr. David watches television in the evening. We don't want to use Mr. David again. Now we want to replace Mr. David with a word. Mr. David is a man. Therefore, we will use he. We will use he. So our sentence will read, he watches television in the evening. He watches television in the evening. Mr. David watches television in the evening. We don't want to say Mr. David. Therefore, we will say he watches television in the evening, because Mr. David is a man. This is our teacher. What is our teacher doing in the picture? Our teacher is writing something on the board. So we want to form a sentence describing what our teacher does. So our sentence reads, our teacher writes on the blackboard. Can you see the blackboard? Yes. Our teacher writes on the blackboard. Now we don't want to say our teacher. We want to replace our teacher with a word. This teacher we see, is he a man or she's a woman? You all know that he is a man. Therefore, we will say He writes on the blackboard. He writes on the blackboard. So there you go. He writes on the blackboard. Our teacher is replaced with he. This is Mary. This is Mary. What is Mary doing in the picture? Mary has collected the rubbish. So we're going to form a sentence using Mary. We're forming a sentence using Mary. Mary collects the rubbish after sweeping. Mary collects the rubbish after sweeping. In our next sentence, we don't want to use Mary. Mary is a girl. Mary is a girl. Mary isn't a boy. Mary isn't a boy. Therefore, we are going to use she. We are going to use she in place of Mary. Therefore, our sentence is going to read, she collects the rubbish after sweeping. She collects the rubbish after sweeping. So the she is in place of Mary. We are describing this picture. The man, what's the man doing? Of course, he is smiling. Do you like his smiling? Yes, the way he smiles is so beautiful, isn't it? So we can have a sentence as, the way he smiles is very beautiful, isn't it? Therefore, we can have a sentence, the man smiles beautifully. The man smiles beautifully. Now, we don't want to use the man. So we will replace it with he. And our sentence will read, he smiles beautifully. He smiles beautifully. He smiles beautifully. This is Adama. This is Adama. Adama teaches his friends after school. Adama teaches his friends after school. Is Adama a he or a she? We will use he, isn't it? Because he is a boy. He teaches his friends after school. He teaches his friends after school. The cat runs after the mouse. The cat runs after the mouse. Is that what you see in the picture? Yes, this is the cat. And the cat is after the mouse. Now we don't want to say the cat. So replace the cat with it. And our sentence will read, it runs after the mouse. It runs after the mouse. So, I'm going to give you some sentences as homework, and you will replace the underlined words with he, she, and it. You replace the words that are underlined with she, he, and it. 1. Amma wakes up at 5 o'clock every morning. Amma wakes up at 5 o'clock every morning. So you would have to replace Amma with either she, he, or it. Kofi advises them to be good children. Kofi advises them to be good children. The word underlined is Kofi. So you would have to replace Kofi with any of these three words. She, he, and it. Any of them. John washes his hands under running water. John washes his hands under running water. So John is the underlined word. So you would have to replace it with either she, he, or it. 4. The flower grows well when we water it. The flower grows well when we water it. So you would have to underline, the flower is underlined, so you would have to replace it with any of the three words here. The cat runs after the mouse. The cat runs after the mouse. The cat is underlined. Therefore, you would have to replace it with she, he, and it. The boy sweeps the compound each day. The boy sweeps the compound each day. So you would have to replace the boy with either he, she, or it. Mansa answers questions in class. Mansa answers questions in class. Belinda brushes her teeth every day. Belinda brushes her teeth every day. A baby crawls before walking. A baby crawls before walking. So you need to replace a baby with either he, she, or it. The dog enjoys bones. The dog enjoys bones. So you will replace the dog with either he, she, or it. So, dear learners, like I always say, make sure you do the homework yourself. Please do not put it down. Try your hands on them, and when we meet the next time, we will look at the answers. Continue learning hard, and you will definitely excel. Bye-bye.